Good morning, everybody. It's election day, November 5th. And Tracker, I don't know if Tracker is here right now. He's not going to make it, but maybe he'll jump on later. So it's just going to be me right now doing this show solo. So yeah, happy election day, guys. Can't wait till it's over. Yeah, me either. Basically, been waiting for this to just end to see the markets finally just relax and go the way that they should go, and that is higher. So that means starting with the SPY here, what I'm really going to focus on is this resistance level, right? But not sure if it's going to break today or this week. This is the day-to-day basis. It is holding the 50-day moving average fairly well here. So this is going to be the target to hold, 568.84, but there is still more support down below if there is more volatility, maybe in the 560s or even the 550s with that 100-day moving average right down there too. So this is not looking too bad, right? It has a lot of support below on the daily chart, and on the weekly chart here, still you got that support of the conversion line there too at 563, and even more support below there as well. So this is looking like things are just cooling off. Like in a normal market without the election, it's just cooling off around the resistance. It's finding a new higher low somewhere, wherever that's going to be. So tomorrow is really going to be probably the true volatility, maybe not today, right? So we'll see how the futures go overnight, and we'll see how things react when the market opens in the morning tomorrow. But the possibility to continue to retest lower support is still there. So it's not out of the woods yet, especially after getting rejected by resistance up here. So yeah, just it's going to be a waiting game, right? We got to just see how things open up tomorrow and continue on through the day. But those are the support levels to really watch, just like the low 560s and the high 550s. And the QQQ, same situation. Just got to watch the 470s, really, right? And even a little bit below is more support too. So it is closer to resistance than it is support on a week-to-week basis. So the possibility to continue a little bit lower is there, right? To trend back down towards support, it's there, right? So we got to really consider that as a possibility and not be too optimistic about breaking this resistance just because it's been an obvious, this 497, you can just see how many weeks have gotten rejected there. So it's been an obvious resistance. So can't get too excited yet until that level really breaks with a really big bullish weekly candle close. And IWM here, we're going to switch to linear scale. And this is basically right around the 219.79. It's been battling that zone for months. You can see the past couple months, it's just been in that zone for a long time, which is actually a good setup. So it's been getting rejected by the 226 as well up top. But essentially, things are just in the process of trying to build this base for the IWM. And this one actually looks like it has a better chance of smashing through this 226 than the SPY and the QQQ, simply because it's not really, it's closer to support than it is resistance, really. So it's looking really good for a possible continuation. So I'm going to be expecting this 226 to maybe get broken relatively quickly. So now let's get into Tesla here. We'll go to Tesla here on the linear chart, or the log scale chart, sorry. So yeah, it's up pre-market, and pre-market is pre-market's at like 242.44, and that's the Fibonacci. It's at 247.35. I think Tracker joined, actually. Hello, Tracker, welcome. Maybe not. But yeah, so you can hear me. Yeah, we're live, Tracker. You're on.
I saw that. I got lost in chart land. I was like recharting a couple things and lost track of time.
No problem. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish up here, and then if you got your Tesla chart handy, then we'll jump to you.
Sure.
But basically, that conversion line, that 618 held perfectly yesterday. It just went right through the 242 down to the daily cloud. You can just see it, just a perfect hit. And people always freak out at support. And I always try to tell people, you know what, this is a bullish thing. A breakout, getting rejected by resistance and back testing support. This is super, super healthy, super bullish. And I was telling my private live stream for Patreon yesterday that the exact same thing. Like, this is what you want. These are the opportunities you want, because this is typically where things bounce. And that's what we're seeing pre-market too. Things are bouncing because support hit perfectly, even did wick through the daily cloud. So all the people that are freaking out, just relax. It's all part of the process for things to go higher. And now to you, Tracker.
It's just part of the process. That's right. So let's see. I've got my screen up, right? So this
Yep.
is actually Matt's log scale chart, but the log scale is hidden, I think. And yeah, I think we talked about this a couple sessions ago, maybe last week. Basically, we've been inside of this huge consolidation pattern since 414.50, and then we had the 101.20 low. It basically went 400, 100, 300, then 138.80, and we're finally breaking. We've broken out of this pattern. We're on top of the triangle now. We're not inside of it, and this is like one more test back, and it's completed, and now it's just ready to rip. And I think it's going to rip right after the election, no matter who wins. It's just everything's just waiting for the elections to finish, so that they can get on with everything. And what I did here was I copied the bar pattern that we had previously back from 2021, 2022, when Tesla, it moved from about 184 to that 414 high. And I just stacked the bars on top of the current Tesla chart to kind of give you an idea of what that move would look like fractally. And, it takes us up here to 720. So, just theoretically, if history rhymed, then that, it's targeting that kind of move next. And on my on my regular Tesla chart, let's see, let's go to the daily chart. It's gonna look all messy because I've been trying to calm people down with, look, we've got declining volume on declining price, and it's a bullish divergence. You can get rid of that. That was actually on a 15-minute chart from yesterday. 243.13 needs to hold as support, and it held. Excuse me, gosh. It held. It wicked down just a tiny bit to scare the bejesus out of a few people, but by and large, it held, and now we are higher in pre-market. I'm just going to get rid of that. And just a note that this green line right here, I drew it from the 130.80 low down here I just simply drew a line to December 30th, the last trading day of the year, 330. I think actually we'll hit 336.87. I just don't know if we'll hit it, but anyway, December 30th. This is just a simple line, and look how we've been staying close to this line. That's why I've got so much conviction that I think we'll definitely see it. It'll at least hit 330. It'll strike 330 before the end of the year. We're very much on track for that. Especially if we just get like another God candle that comes up after the election, which won't necessarily be tomorrow. It might take a couple days for the election to settle. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. But I'm very bullish on Tesla, as you might imagine. That's up to 330. Well, to this 100% fib, 336.87. That's like there you go, a 38% move higher, or it's almost 76% if you trade in TSLL, the 2x bullish ETF of Tesla. And I'm looking for one of two things to happen. The first thing I need to do, I want to see, is this test of 290.13. And the reason why is because if I just take 101.22 as the wave start, 299.29 as the wave 1, and 130.80 as the wave 2, then the first target usually the 764, and then back to the 382. That 764 level is 290.13. So if price gets stuck or just whacks 290.13 and gets afraid, then I'll start to look for a retrace. I don't think it's going to come all the way down to 214.46. Maybe the 50% level at worst, 230.84. I'm sorry, 237.84. but I'm not even looking for that. That's just what if. So if it just keeps going past 290.13 and doesn't really care about it, then what I'm looking for next is this larger degree pattern to 41702. Oh, my fibs are missing here, but because I hid them or something. Basically, 41702 back to 259, and then on to 660 or 610, 60. This one ends up actually going to 1500 in 5 waves, all the way up here. And then if it doesn't respect 417 and just keeps going past the all-time high and doesn't pull back much, then 710 is this crazy ABC up, just like I was showing in the other chart. How that if we get a fractal move of what we had from 2021 to 2022, then this is what I'm targeting, 710.59. And that's my Tesla chart. Don't let them shake you out. If you don't have enough, buy more now. And yeah, I'm bullish for end of year, at least 330, maybe 336.87.
Yeah, I can see things going up pretty significantly after the election, especially if the market likes the reaction in general. So basically, we're going to focus on that. But I think that's enough for Tesla right now. I see Palantir is a big news of the day. So
Yes, indeed.
let's jump to that. I actually, before that, I wanted to share
Oh,
the
yeah.
SMCI chart. So I'm going to just
Go
talk
ahead.
about that briefly. How do I like it? I'd added below 26 because I do think this angle has a good chance of holding. It almost wicked down to the 200-week moving average. So basically, I like it. I mean, whatever the news is, the narrative, like as long as it's not an end run situation, I think it has a really good chance of holding. So it's either going to be end run or it's going to go back up, right? So that's the risk I'm taking, and I think it has a really good probability of going back up, even though a lot of damage was done. But it could easily get back to the 30s and maybe even 40s too. So I think I like this zone a lot. Most of the fear is out of the equation. So yeah, I think
Yeah, shorts don't have much left to shake out of that tree.
no. Yeah. So any opportunity below 26, 25, 24, I think that's your opportunity right there. And this angle, previous support breakout back test on a high time frame, it's not a bearish market structure. When you look over like this, this is still a higher low from all of here, still a higher low. So therefore, I still think it has a chance and just got to give it time. But yeah, let's go to Palantir, and I'll start with my chart here.
Please go right ahead.
Actually, this one is better, and this is breaking to all-time highs. So now this angle is still holding perfectly. Now I still am even more confident of getting to the $100 target by September of 2025 next year, because it just keeps riding up and up and up and up. So I think the next target for me is going to be like $78 right there, the 1.272. So I think it just needs to make sure this 45 is going to be a support. Let's close out the week above it strong with a bullish engulfing candle. That'll signal that it's really ready to go higher. And I'm sure you got a chart too, right, Tracker?
I do have a chart.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. So, I was Palantold by the great Mattsby. I was worried that we might get some consolidation back from the seven. I'm sorry, these are so small. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. From the 764, I thought, usually it goes 764,382, and that would be like terrifying. But we didn't get that. So there was this gap here that will probably never get filled. I'm just gonna delete it now. But usually the pattern would go 764,382, and it went back to 618, and it's like stuck and held, and then, well, I'm sorry, after it got to 764, it just kind of like hung around here for a long time. Then went to the 100%, and so now I'm just like, you know what, screw it. It's just gonna go from basically it went from 0 to. Why is this not the chart I was thinking of? This is right, I guess. It's just basically I'm targeting the 1382 now. It was either going to come back to the 382 or go up to the 1382. It doesn't look familiar because yesterday I had like this thing that said it's either going this way or it's going this way, and obviously it didn't go this way. So 54.27 is my next target for Palantir. It can just keep rocking on up here. Then from the 1382, we should get a test back to the 100%. So from 54 back to 45. Then the 2382, this chart is just nuts. I don't usually draw charts like this. Then back to the 200%, and then to the 3382 for 10209. So these are my milestones that I'm looking for next. You can take your screenshot or subscribe to me for only $2 a month, and you'll get this exact chart. Actually, I do need to update this chart on my spreadsheet. I've got a spreadsheet that has all these charts. It's really cool. So that's it. You've been palantold by the two of us.
Nice.
All right, what's next? Let's see. Oh, well, I do have a NNE and EUSE. I just updated my charts this morning. NNE, it went a lot farther back than I was expecting it to. Let's see. Let's look at an 8-hour chart so you can see the market after hours and all that. Yeah, so it did hit the 618. I thought it was going to go for the 764. It never went for the 764. It just started retracing. So immediately my target should have been the 236. And I think I just got caught up in some other stuff. I just didn't look, but I just updated this morning. I looked at it. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. I think NNE will come back to 1441. Then its next target will be the 1236 up here at 4874. Back to the 764. That gives us a 1 Fibonacci ratio distance between the 1 and the 4 here in my chart. And up to the 2236, 223.6%. 8307. So if you don't have any NNE, you can buy it as it approaches 1440. If you do have it, just hang on to it. You're fine. You could dollar cost average add some more if you want. But once this thing gets going again, my next target is almost $50. 4874. It's crazy. It could get there before Palantir does. Anyway, energy is it's just a big play. This year, this cycle. EOSE, same thing. I had
earnings. Are you ready? Are you bullish before earnings?
Yes, I am, because probably what's going to happen. So again, I was targeting the 764, 382, 1382, and it didn't. It got stuck under the 1236. Actually, this is when I was talking about NNE earlier. I was thinking about EOSE. I got them confused in my head. This one, it got stuck under the 1236, which going to make it test back to the 764 again, which makes it kind of a weird diagonal. But it could. That might be all of it. When, let's see, the low we got was, it's not showing me the low here. 287-ish. That might be all we get. It could hit 278. It already kind of touched it down here, though. So I don't know. I'd start buying. If you don't have USC, I've got 20,000 shares of it myself. I've bought like around here, around I bought around 330, I think, thinking that we'd get the 132. I didn't sell at the 1236 because I thought right here is going to go to the 132, and it didn't. And now I'm just stuck underwater for now, but I'm not worried. I'm just going to hang on.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping it goes down below 280, so I'm gonna buy some if it does.
Yeah, look for 278 would be my 764, and then after that 546 is my next target for this cycle. Then I already drew another one. I don't know if it's on this chart or not. I think I might have hidden it, or it might be. Oh no, it is on this chart. I just kind of like did a pretend retrace and then a pretend extension, and so theoretically, this chart goes to 2284 for the end of the next cycle. So very bullish on USE. Just at 546, you can either decide to keep holding it, but I'll probably sell a little bit into the ABC retrace, and then buy back in somewhere in this $4-ish, $4-ish range, and then we should start seeing like $12.50, and then $8, and then 2284. Very bullish on energy, very bullish on EUSE. They're long-term storage solution for electricity. They've got batteries that will hold. You can generate all the extra power you want during the day, solar or whatnot. Store the energy and then release it overnight customers without having to run a backup generator. That's the idea behind EUSE.
Yeah, very, very cool. All right. going with that earnings trend, I'm just going to jump on with HIMS right here. And I'm going to just tell you guys it's basically approaching resistance again, the 886. You can see all these weekly wicks through it right there. So support held perfectly at that 702, the 1864. That was the opportunity. That's where a lot of my Patreon people, we jumped in there, right? And basically now it's going back up to resistance. So just got to see if it can break this 2281 and see if it can go higher. So I'm a little bit cautious here, but I think if the market just continues to rise, I think this will break through that resistance and go do what Palantir has done, go towards the all-time highs and possibly break through in the future. So it's a very bullish chart, but not sure if it's ready to break this resistance level just yet. I guess we'll find out this week.
And I've got sort of a slightly different story on HIMS in that it has been resistance because it's resisting my 38.2% fib extension, which is natural because first it's resistance and then it gets over it and flips it to support, foreshadowing it being support later when it retests back to it after hitting my 76.4% extension. So I think maybe the low is in down here at 1833, and it will get back above. It's going to go for 3106 next, then pull back, and then 2226 will be support the next time, and then it goes on up to $50.72, back down to 36.49, and on up to 73.74 for the 2618. I'm giving HIMS a lot of room to run. In 2023 and 2024, I did not give charts the 1618. They usually pinched off at 1382. I'm going to give this one the benefit of a doubt. So
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good.
Yeah,
The high time frame setup looks really bullish. It looks very similar to Palantir, in my opinion. How
it
it's
does.
really
It does
trying.
because like
Yeah,
it's earning $50.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
looking really good for
yeah,
the longer term. But yeah, it just got to break through this $22 zone, and once that does, I think it'll be good to go.
yeah. I can't remember my position. I don't think this is my position anymore. This is once upon a time my position, but I definitely have HIMS. I think I've got about $12,000 of it, maybe. I can tell you. Hang on a second. HIMS. I have 760 shares of it for the cost basis of $15,200.
Nice.
My average share cost is $20 even.
Yeah, so you're in the money.
I'm in the money.
Very good. All right. Let's do some Bitcoin stuff. Let's
Yes.
do Coinbase first. And I think what we saw, because a lot of people were freaking out after hours yesterday, they saw Coinbase go back down to like 179. But I think it was kind of like front running Bitcoin going down. Like Bitcoin was just going down towards like the 67, back down to like 66 during that time. And people were like, what's going on? What's the news? There wasn't any news. It was just following Bitcoin. And now Bitcoin rebounded and this one's rebounding. And on the daily chart, it said everything. The bottom of the cloud was 177. It hit there perfectly. And that was support. And it even went back above the 50-day moving average there too. So is this looking like a big breakout, got rejected, and a back test in this zone? Yeah, that's what it's looking like. So it's still high time frame, pretty bullish. Even the weekly chart, I do like it, right? It's also a big breakout, and it's doing a back test right now too, trying to get back above the daily or the weekly conversion line there around like 186.80 or so. So we'll see if that can break above. And there is going to be more resistance above in the 190s again. But this is a beautiful looking bottoming process, right? From the top here getting rejected, it's just basically bottoming in this zone and it's making higher lows all the time. So eventually, when Bitcoin goes to all-time highs, guess what's going to happen? Coinbase will go along with it. So this is a beautiful structure. Just got to be patient with it. And if you can't be patient, then you're going to miss out. But this is looking like something that's really maybe in the next few weeks or months could have a potential to get up to the 245. So
Man, Matt just has the most beautiful charts. I'm like drawn to his charts like a moth to a flame.
But I mean, it just like Coinbase just had a monster move, right? From the bottom here, from the cloud, right? It just
Yeah.
from 70s all the way up to the 200s. Like, let it cool down for months, guys, and like that's all it did. And it hit my 45-degree angle perfectly with the perfect back test right there. You can see in June 23, it touched it there, a perfect back test, and now it's riding it like a champ. It's so
Yeah.
perfect. And
It
just
like
got to,
rose like a phoenix through that red cloud earlier, and now
yeah,
it got up, it got real hot, and then fell back into the battleground zone. The clouds are really kind of battleground zones between the bears and the bulls,
yeah.
and it beat all the bears the entire way. It was battling through that cloud, and just once you get
And
stuck on top of it again, kaboosh.
yeah, it's funny too. Like people give up when it's down here, but this is where the opportunity lies. And then people start to take profits up here, and this is when the whales really start to accumulate and they steal your shares. It happened with Palantir. Like people started to take in profits, and the whales were just, "Oh, I'll buy that from you. I'll buy that from you," and then it just shot up. So a lot of retail always sells into strength when the opposite should be happening. So this is going to be the case. People were selling support. You should have been buying. People are going to be taking profits up here. That's probably when the bigger money is going to be taking your shares as well to send it even higher. So that's my take on it. You got a chart?
I'm just saying. I was going to say, it's just really hard to be sure where the support and resistance are if you don't have Matt's magical Gann charts.
Yeah.
So pay attention to his charts. They're really, really they're the best on the planet Earth. I would say. I'm not. It's not hyperbole. Matt has the best charts.
Well,
Here's
also
go ahead. Go ahead.
the because I bought Con L at 2002 exactly yesterday, and I bought it from this chart right here,
Ooh,
right
he
there.
made a micro
A
Gann
4 hour
chart.
chart. I made a 4 hour again. I'm like, I'm buying Con L right here, and that
That's
was
so
basically.
cool.
And Con L got to $20 even, and I bought it like 2 cents at the low yesterday.
I
So
saw. I was like trying to
this,
like buy some too. I'm in Matt's Patreon, and I just keep getting. I see all of his. I'm buying this. I'm buying that. Like, okay, I'm going to buy it too. And then I quickly run and see if my chart's up to date, and then
yeah.
update it if it's not. And say, look, Matt's buying this stuff. This is why.
And see, look at coin is even back above this 45-degree angle too, with that bullish engulfing candle that it had, and it even back tested it during that panic after hours, right? And yeah,
Yeah.
so this is basically following Bitcoin, and I'm gonna just go straight into Bitcoin, segue into Bitcoin really. And my Bitcoin chart is doing the same thing, guys. My 4 hour Bitcoin, look at this, super bullish.
Ooh.
Like, look at that, the 45-degree angle has been holding as support. It did break below briefly, but guess what? It's above. And all it has to break is this 69,100 level. Flip it to a support with 4 hour candle closes. We haven't seen a 4 hour candle close really since it broke down with this bearish engulfing. So one 4 hour candle close above it, and I think it's ready to go. So that could be today for the election later tonight, because it's like running out of time. Look at that. This little wedge is running
Yeah.
out of time. So so it looks like it's perfect timing for things to just go higher. So I think Bitcoin's going up. That means probably the miners are going up. I do see a request for CLSK, but do you have a coin chart first or no? Or
Sure,
Bitcoin?
sure, sure. I can show you my coin chart. I just want to say, all these things are fractal, right? So it works on whatever time scale you're looking at. His Gann charts work on like years, or theoretically, if he takes the time to do a 4 hour chart, works on a 4 hour chart. I just want to show you my Bitcoin. Basically, we are still. If you guys have been here all week, you've already seen this chart several times. Bitcoin has just been in a consolidation triangle as well, with a descending a resistance trend, and we got a breakout, and then it kind of like dipped back in just to, because it was too soon, right? With the November 6th market open is way over here. It got us all excited, went back into here. Everyone, this is where people freaked out and started selling stuff, but everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be great. We're gonna finally get the true breakout after the election. My Bitcoin chart goes up to 89,507. I talked about this yesterday. I won't go into it in detail today. I'll show you my coin chart. I think on a weekly basis. Wait, am I on the wrong? I might be on the wrong. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. This one is BTC USD on a second panel. I need to show it to you on this panel. Oh, I already had it up. All right, so coin on a weekly chart. Yeah, it's just oscillating along this trend line that I've got going. My next target for coin is 96% move higher to 366.66. I just had to move some things out apparently, or sometimes TradingView gets messes up the lines. Yeah, 366.66 is my next target with a 96% move higher, and then along with that, my Con L chart from where we are right now. Why look, it's about a 200 and it says 237% move higher. I don't think that's not the difference, is it? No. I've got 237% higher for 8302 next. It's already done. I must have had a smaller degree chart in here, but yeah, this is why we're all Kat and Matt and I were all like buying. We're like we're scrounging for quarters on the couch and buying more Con because we think it's going to go up like 230% to the next wave target up here. Must be like yeah, I've got a smaller degree thing in the middle here. Anyway, yeah, Con we're super bullish on it, and that's just where see it does gets all whacked out when I change between, and it just keeps going, to 240, 265 perhaps, which is like a wait here. No, I'm eating up all Matt's extra time here. I'm sorry. If it gets to my fifth wave target, that's 887% higher than where we are right now. Of course, on the way there, it'll kind of go sideways a little bit, and that eats in a little bit into the 2x.
Well,
so it won't be quite 887, but it'll be damn close.
Kat and I, we both think that Coinbase has potential to go above 1,000. I think it can go to 1,400 personally. So, with that said, Con has that potential definitely to get to those levels.
Oh yeah. See, I've got 522 for the top of this 5-wave cycle, and then it would just consolidate and then build a new cycle that goes higher.
Yeah. Well, people don't realize like the earnings potential once people take interest in altcoins again. They'll make so much fees off of that, and there's really zero interest in altcoins now because they're at the bottom. Nobody cares about things at the bottom. They only want to buy the top because that's retail for you. So just watch how Coinbase app is trending on iTunes or whatever, and then when it becomes the top 10 or number 1 again, then that will probably be around the market top for Coinbase.
Yeah, exactly. When people at the water cooler, or your uncle or niece ask you about Coinbase or that kind of stuff, then we're getting into it.
Yeah. But right now it's the bottom. Like it really looks like people have given up, and that is the time that I think I will start adding to my altcoin position soon after this election.
Let's see. Do we have time to do? Oh, we did hymns already.
Yeah, we did hymns and we did coin. There's CLSK. I see that request on the Bitcoin thing.
My CLSK, it's just getting started too. It's going to 2224 from where it's at 980 now. 2224, 36, and then 5942. So that's my CLSK chart. Just doing a little bit of dead reckoning from. It's just it's a Fibonacci extension from this low to this high to this higher low. So yeah, 25. I'm sorry, 22, 24 next. I could be wrong. I mean, it could extend a little higher, but let's look for that first. It seemed to really want to test this zone here. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe because it did all this right there, maybe it will go to the 764 at 2560. Maybe I'm going to change it right now, and that gives us the 1382, and this only has to pull back to the 100%, and this can go to the 2382. And like I said, maybe I'll start pushing these all up to the 2618, but I like to see at least a little bit. I like to see the 1-2 fill out first before I start messing with all these. Yeah, CleanSpark, bullish. A lot of potential. That's 156% from where we are now to the 764.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. And I'll just show mine real quickly. Basically, what I saw yesterday is it just went through the 50-day and the bottom of the cloud, but it's kind of trying to reclaim that right now, pre-market. So it looks like maybe just an overextension of support, and it has the potential to get back above it. So I do like this zone. I do like it even more if it goes lower on the weekly chart back to my angle again, because that's the angle of support. And the very first time it hit there, if you guys remember, I said it's at support right now when it was in the 850s. I was like, yes, this is support, guys. And everybody's like, no, it's going to zero. But then it just kept riding that angle up and up. So do I like it? Yeah, but it is kind of getting rejected by some resistance up here, so it might take some time, and it might even come back down here. Anything's possible with the election too. It could be just a crazy wick tomorrow morning or whatever, down to support, and that could be the opportunity. But I do like it for the long term. It's the symmetry of it all is perfect. I do see it getting back up to 12, up to 13, and eventually going higher than that. But it just might take some time with this one because it's losing or it already lost the 200-week moving average and the conversion line. So we're just going to follow the daily chart action. If it gets back above the 50-day, then it has potential to keep climbing once again.
Indeed. Yeah, I kind of forgot that it did do an expanded wider flat there. And there's a chance for a micro expanded wider flat as well. Like it just keeps coming back to my zero line at 804. So anything near 804, just buy the hell out of it. Unless it drops below 804, then you should.
Yeah. Well, I think 874 is kind of my limit because it's been right around 100-week moving average pretty nicely. So
that's perfect. That's a great place to look.
That is a great place to look. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just call it a day right now to get ready for my private live stream.
Okay.
Any other charts? Tracker has his subscription on X for $2, so you guys can subscribe there.
It's $2 a month, not a day, not an hour, a month. It's so cheap. Come join us. I want to have a legion of like 10,000 subscribers. It's gonna be great. And the more subscribers I get, the better tools I can afford to give you guys better TA and get. Not that like Matt doesn't have the best TA, but I've got like this trade idea thing. It's just giving me all these nuts ideas every day.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, and we'll see you tonight. We're gonna do an election special.
That's right, 7:30 Eastern for the election special. We'll check the after hours, the futures markets, see if they're reacting to anything, and maybe even do some streaming of what they're talking about on the news too.
It's gonna be so fun. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. All right.